Custody tonight. The feds picked up 49-year-old Billy Cagle this morning from the Clayton County Jail. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spence.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Fox 5's Tyler Fingert is at the federal courthouse in downtown Atlanta where Cagle made his first appearance on federal charges. Tyler joins us now with more.
Yeah, Courtney, good evening to you. Late this afternoon, Billy Cagle faced a federal judge for the first time just days after investigators say he threatened to shoot up the world's busiest airport. Today's hearing came just as we were learning new details about who called police to warn them about his alleged plan. Billy Cagle wore the same blue polo he was arrested in for his initial appearance in federal court Wednesday afternoon. The hearing lasted just a matter of minutes as the federal magistrate judge told Cagle his rights. One of his attorneys told the judge Cagle has, quote, a history of mental health issues and they need to obtain some psychiatric records. While his lawyers await those records, the court held off on a detention hearing. Cagle's initial appearance came on the same day a 6-page federal criminal complaint was released, which lays out the case against the 49-year-old convicted felon. Cagle was arrested Monday at the world's busiest airport after he allegedly made violent threats during a FaceTime call that he was going to, quote, shoot up the airport. The complaint says that Cagle's wife and another person were the ones who actually drove to the Cartersville Police Department and reported him for being, quote, unstable, which set off a chain reaction of events that landed him in cuffs a short time later.
Is a guy named Billy?
The document says Cagle told the other person, who was not identified, that he was driving on Interstate 75 with a gun and planned to, quote, shoot some cars. It went on to say as Cagle's wife and the witness drove to speak to an officer, Cagle was on FaceTime allegedly showing airport signage and saying, quote, I'm at the airport. I'm going to go rat-a-tat-tat, a phrase investigators believe was meant to imitate gunfire. Cartersville police reached out to Atlanta Airport Police, and within a matter of minutes, Cagle was found and arrested. When investigators searched his truck, which they say he illegally parked in the drop-off area, they found an AR-15 rifle with 27 rounds of ammunition. Cagle faces 3 federal charges. Those are attempted violence at an international airport, interstate communications containing threats, and being a felon in possession of a firearm. Cagle's attorney, Preston Halberton, released this statement saying, quote, we are currently in a fact-gathering mode. At the outset, we believe there's some miscommunication to the public, and at the appropriate time, we look forward to clearing up any of these possible miscommunications. Cagle's detention hearing has been set for Monday at 9:30 a.m., where it will be decided if he can be released pending trial. Fox 5 will, of course, be covering that for you. We're live in downtown Atlanta tonight. Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
We could have been covering a much different story. Thankfully, we're not. Tyler, thank you. Opening statements began today in the case of Tiffany Foster's disappearance and murder in Coweta County. Fox 5's Doug Evans was in the courtroom and tells us what attorneys on both sides said to the jury today.
In opening arguments, the prosecutor told the jurors that we will never know what happened to Tiffany Foster because her body has never been found to tell the story. But the prosecutor laid out a case for the jurors of previous violent crimes by former fiancé Reginald Robertson against Tiffany Foster. She said in November of 2020, just a few months before Tiffany's disappearance in March of 2021, Robertson did some strange things and allegedly told numerous lies to law enforcement. Jurors heard a 911 call from November 2020 in which Tiffany is recorded saying over and over again, Reggie, you're scaring me. Reggie, you have a gun. And in that recording, she is heard crying and sounds terrified. They also showed the juror crime scene photos of an abandoned home where he allegedly tied her up that night with zip ties and then fired a gun. Body cam video from Noonan police later that same night. Tiffany told police she couldn't tell them what happened to her because he would kill her. They also showed jurors a text from Tiffany to a friend just a few days before the disappearance in which she says, if anything happens to me, in all caps, Reggie did it. Then prosecutors said on the last day anyone had seen her, on March 1st of 2021, Robertson used Tiffany's car to use her ATM card to withdraw some money from her account and then went to a hardware store. They showed some receipts where he allegedly bought a shovel and some bolt cutters. The prosecutor said Robertson was joined by neighbor Jeremy Walker, who is also charged in this case. He's facing a charge of concealing Tiffany's death. The defense told jurors after all the tests law enforcement had done in this case, there's no evidence that ties Reginald Robertson to a crime. And so on this first day of testimony, it is centered around that November 2021 episode in which he's charged with kidnapping and aggravated assault. Jurors hearing the two recordings of Tiffany Foster, one the 911 call in which she's overheard saying, "Reggie, you're scaring me. Reggie, you have a gun." And then the police body cam video from later that night in which she tells officers that she can't tell them what happened to her because he would kill her. I'm Doug Evans, Fox 5 News in Coweta County.
Doug, thank you. In Dawson County, the GBI needs help solving a 1997 homicide case. Officials say 11-year-old Levi Frady disappeared 28 years ago on October 22nd. They found his body the next day in the Dawson Forest Wildlife Management Area, and it was his death that led to the creation of the Levi's Call in Georgia. Take a look at these sketches. Authorities believe these are potential witnesses. Deputies continue to seek leads in this case all these years later. Agents ask anyone with information about Levi Frady's death or the witnesses to contact the GBI.
A Mableton man has been arrested in connection with a deadly Brookhaven crash. 54-year-old Omar Ali is charged with vehicular homicide and felony hit and run. The crash happened on Claremont Road and Dresden Drive. Police say traffic cameras confirm a 20-year-old woman was walking in a crosswalk when a dump truck driven by Ali hit her and kept going. He left the scene and came back 20 minutes later. Atlanta police have identified the officer critically injured after crashing into a home. It happened Monday night while 24-year-old officer Malik Safi was responding to a call for help from another officer. Police say he crashed into a house along James P. Brawley Drive in northwest Atlanta. The car then caught fire. A number of bystanders rushed to get him to safety. Officer Salih remains in the hospital. He joined the Atlanta Police Department last December.
A former inmate at the DeKalb County Jail is speaking out tonight about the death of another inmate. He claims jail officials were negligent in caring for Rodney Garrick Sr., who was sick and then died just 2 days behind bars. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor has been looking into his death and joins us now from the DeKalb County Jail with more on the story. Angelique?
Good evening, Russ. This former inmate says he was literally in tears after watching his cellmate first suffer and then ultimately lose his life. Tonight, DeKalb jail officials tell us they are investigating.
It's just like they don't care. They just treat you like you're just nothing in there.
Former DeKalb County inmate Octavius Scales says he was appalled by the way he claims jail officials ignored repeated pleas for medicine from fellow inmate Rodney Garrick Sr.
He was always telling them, I need to get my medicine, I need to get my medicine, I have to have my medicine.
And what kind of medicine was it?
It was blood thinners.
And how do you know that?
Because he told us.
Scales claims inmate Garrick made another request that he says went unanswered.
For several hours while we was also in there, he was complaining about needing water, and for almost 4 hours, we didn't have any water.
Shamley police arrested Garrick on 2 misdemeanors. According to Scales, and Garrick's mother confirmed, her son's bond was only $20.
It was time for him to be released, and when they came in, they tried to tell him to wake up and pack it up, but he was unresponsive, and his body was blue and purple.
Medics rushed the 59-year-old to the hospital, but he was pronounced dead later. Mr. Scales showed us statements 3 other inmates wrote, but they did not turn them in to DeKalb jail officials.
I feel if we gave the statements to the jail, that they'll be thrown in the trash or nothing will be done about our side of the story. Everybody that goes to jail isn't a criminal. You know, no one's perfect, and I think that everyone be treated with dignity until proven guilty.
Now, we reached out to DeKalb officials to get their side of this story. They tell us while the incident appears to have been a sudden and unanticipated medical emergency, a full investigation is underway both internally and by the medical examiner's office. We remain committed to transparency and accountability in all aspects of our jail operations. And Garrick's family is just devastated. They were too upset to talk today, but his mother did tell me her son died on her birthday. Reporting live in DeKalb County, Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Angelique, thanks. The GBI has launched an investigation into a deadly use of force incident in Cobb County. Yesterday, Cobb County police responded to a hit-and-run crash. They found 47-year-old Timothy Lyle Sheets, who said he had been shot, but officers say they didn't see any injuries. They then reportedly asked him to get into a patrol car for safety, but he refused and started walking into traffic. Police say he also tried to get into a passing car. An officer tased Sheets to stop him from running into traffic as backup officers helped restrain him. That's when agents say Sheets became unresponsive. Medics took him to the hospital where he died.